Bro, y'all too. I love y'all too. But this joke here, that's been pissing me off. Tell me why I piss you off. Bro, my mom always sending me stuff for what Mr. Ryan Clark always saying about me.
So here's what I said about you.
You be talking
Here's what I said about you. When you go into the locker room and you say what you said, that's not leadership to me. Right? When you and I can say I'll say that to your face.
Right.
I'm never gonna say anything about y'all that I wouldn't say in front of y'all because I know I paint a certain picture.
Right.
I'm pro player all the time, but in that situation, you a leader, right? And like people look at you not only for what you do in Miami, but for what you do overall.
Right.
You're better than, in my opinion, you're better than that.
You're right.
In my opinion. So having calmed down, how do you see that situation now?
I feel just like you said. You know what I'm saying? I feel exactly like you said though. Like no bad blood against anybody.
But let me tell you something. That motherfucker came in there with that chest poked. Hey, y'all cool.
Straight.
But you. Let's talk about it.
And so Cam, obviously you're in media now, former player.
Yeah.
And it's been situations that you had some, not conversations, but conversations, honest conversations with people that you scrutinized or criticized in media. And so let's just talk about that. Just you transition over to media. How have that impacted you and how players now view you? Some players view you.
Players don't keep that same energy with Dan Patrick. They don't keep that same energy with Colin Cowherd. They don't keep that same energy really with Adam Schefter. They don't keep that same energy with Stephen A. Probably Stephen A. because he's black. Mad Dog, right? And it's sad because we've seen a shift in information over the last really 5 years, right? We've seen more players have opportunities to control their narrative by way of either social media or podcasts. Mm-hmm. And I think the journalists have agreed, whether indirectly or directly, where it's like, yo, we can't not accept it. It's just what it is now. But I don't think that the players have bought in, though. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So when you see videos like this, you have to respect the source and not the, you know, and not in essence what's being said, because it's always the intent. You feel what I'm saying? Like I love what Ryan Clark said, but I also understand where Tyreek Hill is coming from too, because that's how it typically always happens. Mm-hmm. The mom, the dad, the cousin, the brother, the homeboy. Man, this hating ass nigga Cam talking some old shit. Yeah. Fuck that nigga. Yeah, but bro, you don't keep that same energy with fucking Skip Bayless.
That's true.
And they ain't even never played. They ain't never ran out of fucking tunnel.
That's a good segue into what I was going to ask you. Do you feel like players hold you to a certain caliber because you are some of these players' idols? We do see the number one at quarterback, and people are doing the Superman when they score. So it's like my idol is like, man, nah, that ain't a good game, or you're a game manager, changer, whatever it might be. Yeah. Like, that is a certain level. It's like when it comes from Cam Newton mouth, it is different from coming from
and it is.
A Dan Orlovsky.
Man, somebody asked me this the other day. It's like, what's the difference now, who you are now on TV versus who you were as a player? And I think you learn that you have a lot of responsibility, because it's not really what you say, it's how you say it. But also, you know, in the words of my mom, she would always say, Cam, there's more people watching you than you watching them. Mm. And when you have a platform like First Take, when you have a platform like 4th and 1, and you have millions of people tuning in on a week-to-week basis, and you don't know who's looking at your content and really hiding behind those comments.
That's real.
So it may be a friend of a friend, or a mother of a mother, or a son of a neighbor. Like, you don't know. And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I think when I was a player, I would take a lot of things to heart. And like I said, in his face, it's like I hated Stephen A. Smith. I felt like, man, that nigga cooning, bro. Fuck him. Like, he ain't never played football or basketball, but this motherfucker got. But when you're on this side now, everybody's just doing their job. Yeah. We have to talk about it. We can't just turn an eye and be like, think about it like this. If we always agree with the players, people will look through that shit and say, man, that shit ain't real, man. Or if we always went against what that certain players do, oh, here go Cam, hating again. We know he gonna say some hating shit. So therefore, you have to give your honest opinion on how you feel. Mm-hmm. Give your true take. Don't cower to saying like, yo, what's gonna. I seen this the other day on Captain Munderland's podcast. Cam know how to stay relevant. No, motherfucker, I just know what to talk about. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? It's like this ain't no fucking tactic to stay relevant. Like I don't go. Like just be yourself. Yeah. Like, bruh.
How do people know when to differentiate hate versus you just speaking on like just the truth? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people now, you tell the truth like, Cam, I don't like your outfit. Bro, you hating on me, bro.
Man, let me tell you something, bro. And we can cut this shit short. Hate pay too.
You got to elaborate on that for the people that ain't know.
Hate pay too. So whether you hate on me or not, I don't give a fuck.
Hate pay too.
Hate pay too. Shit, you gave me that view, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You gave me that comment. So if you don't like me, block me. Mm. Straight up. That's how you use it. Cool. But if you ain't, thank you. Because wherever your tactic or the love or whatever, like, bruh, it don't matter. I'm still getting paid.
But is it your maturity from like even when you being a player, getting scrutinized, mm-hmm. now you in media, and even then it was a moment, and just seeing you grow, it was to a point like, man, I don't want to pick, man, I ain't trying to sit up here and talk about sports, talk about this and that. But then now you're doing it and doing so well. Yeah.
It was like easy.
It was a layup.
Yeah, it's like, bro, this didn't challenge me.
Correct.
This is like a hobby. 4th and 1 is like a hobby. Funky Friday is a challenge because it taps into a more different wave of content. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have to, the challenge is always, how are you going to pull something out of a person that the audience didn't necessarily know? And even when you felt good about it, it still is up to the audience to allow it to perform. So that's the challenge. With 4th and 1, it's like, man, we just on this shit talking about, if one more hater try to stop me, it's going to be some dreadhead killers in the lobby. You dig what I'm saying? Like, that shit's enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
That ain't fucking, we don't got to go over that shit. When I point to you and you say shit, we going to see, like, that shit ain't, we didn't go over that shit. Yeah. When, like, that shit ain't fucking, like, I love this. This is natural.
Mm-hmm. But talking about the scrutiny, though, from you being a player.
The scrutiny is like, yo, I'm just being me.
But I'm saying when you were a player, being scrutinized feels different from you being in media.
It's the respect that person had at one point to you, and they don't expect you to talk down. It's not even talk down. They don't expect you to say something that's about them.
Because you had a good point with Deion Sanders. It was an example you said. You was like, bro, people, and I asked you this, I'm like, Cam, when you say something about certain people, it hits them. And it's like, man, why this person do it, that person do it? It's like, but they not Cam Newton. But, and I said, well, think about a time with you. And you was like, Deion Sanders said something about you while you was playing. And it hit you. Yeah. But now, and you had to think about it, it was like, well, it was true, or you had to respect what he had to say. So
it was, man, I just felt like Prime was always on my back when I played. But everywhere I go, a lot of people give me, you know, they say this, and it came from him. Cam. Oh, Cam. Like, that was Prime.
Yeah.
You feel me? After my first NFL game, he said that. So everybody mimicked that. But that didn't mean that he couldn't analyze my play as acceptable or unacceptable.
Drawing the line. It's not personal.
It's not personal. He's just doing his job. So am I on my feelings in there? And it may be the right thing to say, like, just keep playing. Or once you get on this side of the pendulum, you'll see, and we'll be able to put a cigar in the air and talk that shit out and just really be like, man, now you seeing. Because this shit ain't hard. This shit ain't easy to be on the content side, because everybody's talking about the same shit. Everybody's talking about the same headlines. Everybody, you don't think that it is what it is. Shay nightcap, fucking pivot, fucking who's your daddy, fucking Barstool ain't talking about the format of All-Star Weekend. Mm-hmm. The bets, we making the same bets. You feel me? Everybody's talking about the same. So this is more challenging, but it's the same thing. I played in the same division with Drew Brees and fucking Matt Ryan and fucking Jameis Winston. In the league with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. It's still competition no matter where you go. Mm-hmm. You just got to make sure that your product is going to be high, Peggy.